You think your problem is money. You look at the numbers, the bills, the constant weight of what you don't have, and you tell yourself a story. You think you need more income, more opportunities, better timing, but you are looking at the smoke, not the fire. The fire is much deeper than your bank account. It burns in the places you refuse to look. The truth is, you have already had your chances. The doors have opened. The invitations were sent. And you stayed exactly where you were. Not because you are lazy. Lazy is a word for people who don't want to look deeper. You stayed because you were terrified of what was on the other side of that door. You stayed because you were loyal to the pain you already knew. You aren't incapable. You are under the control of an invisible force. An architecture built inside your mind long before you ever understood what a dollar was. It controls your hands before they reach. It controls your voice before you speak. It is a ghost in the machine of your ambition, pulling the strings of every decision you think you are making for yourself. Your brain has one job, only one, to keep you safe, not rich, not successful, not fulfilled, just safe. And to your primitive biology, safety has a very specific definition. It means nothing changes. It means the environment remains predictable. It means you survive until the next sunset, no matter how miserable that survival is. If you survived yesterday with a certain amount of money, a certain house, and a certain level of stress, your brain considers that a victory. It wants to repeat that victory forever, because growth is the unknown. And the unknown is death to the part of you that only cares about staying alive. You are fighting a war against your own survival instincts. Same income, same habits, same environment, same thinking patterns. Even if they crush you, even if they slowly drain the life out of your eyes, it still feels predictable, and predictable feels like home. Even if home is a prison, you know where the walls are. You know where the bars are. And that knowledge provides a cold, dead comfort that success never can. You say you want more, but when the opportunity finally arrives, something in your chest tightens. You don't feel excited. You feel nauseous. You hesitate. You overthink. You find a rational reason to wait until tomorrow, and the opportunity passes. Like all the others, you tell yourself it wasn't the right time. But the truth is, you were just waiting for the feeling of safety to return. There is a civil war inside you. One part of you is screaming for growth. It wants to expand, to see what you are truly capable of. But the other part, the older part, is terrified. It sees the expansion as a threat, and that part is much stronger. It wins almost every single time because it doesn't want you to be great. It just wants you to be here, tomorrow, exact same as today. Your brain doesn't distinguish between a bad investment and a predator in the tall grass. To your nervous system, the feeling of risk is a signal of impending doom. So you retreat, you go back to the baseline, you return to the unhappiness you understand. You choose the devil you know over the angel you don't, and you call that wisdom. But it's just fear wearing a mask. You think money is about math. It's not. Money is about emotion. It's about how much discomfort you can tolerate before your system shuts down. You have an invisible ceiling, a level of wealth that your identity can't handle. Beyond that, you feel like an imposter. You feel like you are stealing from a world you don't belong to, so you find a way to get rid of it. When you start to succeed, you don't celebrate. You panic, you spend impulsively, you get distracted, you pick fights with the people who are trying to help you, you find ways to bleed the excess away until you are back in the comfort of your struggle. Back to where you belong, back to the version of you that your brain knows how to protect. Increase, discomfort, pull back, stabilize, repeat, again and again and again. You aren't failing. You are successfully maintaining your baseline. You are perfectly achieving the life your brain thinks you deserve. You are the architect of your own stagnation, building the same four walls every single morning and wondering why you never see the sun. And the most dangerous part of all? It feels normal. It feels like your personality, but it isn't you. It's programming, built over decades, through survival and repetition, through the voices of people who were also afraid. It's a script you didn't write, playing on a loop in a room you can't find, and you think you are the one speaking, but you are just the one listening. You watch the videos, you take the notes, you plan for a future that never comes. You believe you are trying, but thinking is not acting. Planning is just a more sophisticated way of staying safe. It gives you the feeling of movement without the risk of actually moving. You are running in place, and you are getting tired. So tired. You have spent your whole life preparing for a race you are too afraid to start. Always at the same point, right before the leap. Right before the change becomes real, that's where you stop. That's where you close the book. You aren't bad with money. You are just incredibly loyal to your fear. And that loyalty, it's killing your future. One day at a time, one decision at a time. You are murdering your potential to keep your comfort alive. And the worst part is, you are doing it with a smile on your face. One day the realization will hit you. You could have done more. You could have moved. You could have been the person you imagined, but you weren't. Not because you weren't enough, but because you chose the safety of the cage over the danger of the sky. You traded your potential for the feeling of being okay. And okay is the slowest way to die. It's a quiet, comfortable funeral that lasts 40 years, and nobody even knows you're gone. Until you understand this, nothing changes. Not your bank account, not your life, not your future. The problem was never money. Money is just paper and pixels. The problem was always safety, and you chose it. You chose to be safe instead of being free. You chose to be comfortable instead of being alive, and you are still choosing it. Right now, as you listen to these words, you are looking for a reason to stay where you are. You are looking for a way to forget this. You are looking for the exit, but the exit is locked from the inside. If this made you uncomfortable, good. That means the programming is feeling threatened. That means you are starting to see the bars of the cage. But seeing the bars isn't the same as leaving. Most people just get used to the view. They start to like the way the shadows fall across the floor. What about you? Will you stay? Or will you finally admit that you're terrified and then keep walking anyway?